Good evening, Iowa City. It's April 8th, 2013, and this is your favorite show, Education Exchange. I know everybody is turning to our channel tonight because there is no country songs awards, there is no nice soap opera, and there is no Nashville. So I have a wonderful group from West High School, the great school of West High. And as a matter of fact, and I'm speaking to our audience, I had fun talking to you before the show. I think we should have shown what we were talking about before we went on the air. On behalf of John Karoff, the father of this show, 20 years ago, and Mike Peterson, who is again the other father of the show, and Emily Ashenfelter, who is directing with us today, and all this wonderful audience in the studio that you see in front of you. On behalf of all those, I would like to welcome you to our show. And I see in the back, you put your teachers in the back. What's the deal here? I mean, why two teachers? One of them is a wonderful language art teacher, to my side here, and you are Kerri Barnhouse, and you have your team, 3 people, right? And they are social activists fighting for the rights of others, and they belong to the gay and lesbian transgender community of young people in Iowa City area and the surroundings. And next to you on your right-hand side is another teacher that's a wonderful person, and that's Jen Secrist. And Jen Secrist is a science teacher, teaches biology, but today she is here representing the Dance Marathon organization and festival, and with her, your team is one person, but I think she equals 10, right?
For sure.
And that's Lauren Larson. And so we have, with your team, in the middle is Hannah, and Hannah told me that she is a veteran. She has been on this show frequently. And I think Mr. John Karoff may take her as the next host after I retire from the show. So you have to get ready, and that's why he put you in the center, right?
Makes sense.
So you are familiar with the studio and familiar with the service that this program is doing to the community, and familiar with what we are getting from Public Access TV hosting us and giving us a facility here, and giving us the benefit of having another director added to our team. Mm-hmm. And then Danielle, you are going to be with Hannah in the same team. Mm-hmm. And to my right side is Kate, right?
Yep.
So I think let's start with you, Danielle. Okay. Talk to us about yourself, about your activity, and why do you think Dr. Argenbright selected you to be here today?
Well, I'm Dan, and I'm co-president of West High's Gay Straight Alliance Colors, and I think Dr. Argenbright chose me and chose us today because we're kind of the leaders of the gay rights movement at West High. I mean, it's our club that's really at the forefront of trying to fight for equality for LGBTQ students and basically allies too in our school. I mean, we're at the forefront of the fight, and to make sure that everyone's treated equally, that everyone feels safe, and that it's to let people know that it's okay to be who they are. So.
Hannah, can you have your microphone, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me when Danielle was talking about the fight Some people may say, what kind of fight? Everything is easy now. People are allowed to get married. People are allowed to live anywhere. There is no housing problem, no discrimination at workplace. What kind of fight is there? What do you need more than what you have now?
Well, not everyone has all of the things that people think that they have. There's definitely many different fights. Of course, there's still workplace discrimination on many different bases, not just sexual orientation, of course, though that is one of the things that we focus on at Colors. But I think that people who think there aren't fights still happening, or that there will never not be fights, kind of live a very kind of unfortunate life, an unfortunately sheltered life. And I think that what we fight for now is just trying to be as equal as possible. And I think that's one of the most important fights, and it kind of encompasses so many others.
So you believe that we have to maintain this kind of campaigning for the rights of people. Otherwise, if we leave it, the other side may take over and do what we call anti-movement that can turn everything around, right?
Yes, if we stop or we let ourselves give up, then that is letting whatever thing or whatever body of people or ideology that we feel is wrong, that's letting that win. So we can't let that happen.
Kate, my understanding is that part of the organization is people who belong to the gay community by the fact that they have the sexual nature of being gay. And I call it sexual nature because I'm a physician, and that's why I don't say orientation or selection or choice. I think you're born with certain nature, and that's why I call it sexual nature. So, and the other people, other colleagues of yours are what is called sympathizers or people who are supporting, right? Which one do you belong to?
I am an ally of the gay community. That means that I'm not personally, I don't identify as LGBT, but I believe that we all need to fight for equality for everyone, including the gay community especially. My brother is gay, and that's one of the main reasons that I fight for the gay community. But I've made so many other friends through West High's GSA.
And as you have seen, Hannah was talking about the fact that it's not really ideal now. I mean, there is still some discrimination, there is prejudice, despite of the fact that the law allows marriage and all that, but still we have under this quiescent surface, there is a lot of feelings. Do you feel as a sympathizer or a supportive person that this involves you too?
Yes, I feel just as involved in the movement as the people who actually identify as LGBT. I think that it's not just a fight for gay people, it's a fight for everyone, because equal society is an important goal for all Americans. It's in our Constitution, and it's an important goal for all of us.
And it's a constitutional right.
Yes.
Right. If I move to you now, Kerri, and I tell you, being an educator, a remarkable educator like you, who has devoted her time for a noble cause like that, if you meet a young person who is still at junior high level, or let us say elementary school, and she or he identifies herself, or she is in doubt, and she wants to have some support. She doesn't talk to her parents about that, or he doesn't talk to his brothers, sisters about that. What kind of advice you give young people before they come to the high school?
Before they come to high school? Well, I guess I think that it's probably most important that they have some resources I think that the best thing is that they can find an ally within their community of friends. And I know that sometimes, especially at the junior high level, that can be really hard to do. But even when students come into West High as freshmen, or they come to me and say, you know, I feel like I need some support, I rather than talking to them myself, I try to match them up with a student, a peer. I think that works even more, somebody who's closer to their experiences and who they can really talk to about what it was like to feel alone, to feel as though they didn't have anybody to talk to feel as if they were different and they were not accepted. And I think once they talk to some of their peers and find other kids who either are supportive of them, who have been through similar things, I feel like that it means the world to them. Much more even than if I, as an adult, would go sit down and talk with them, which we certainly do, and I certainly think an adult helping them and supporting them is important. But one thing I love about our group is that I can always find a student who's willing to go and meet with another student, and I think that means more to them, that they can talk to a peer who's open and accepting and even, yeah.
Now I would like you to take this chance and look at the camera. That's your camera where Emily is standing there. And talk to our audience about what kind of support parents can give their kids. Because a lot of kids are so scared of the community, especially at home. And some of them are because of religious affiliation or because of a certain kind of education or whatever it is, or political orientation, whatever you call it. But how do we, as educators, tell parents to give their kids support? Because I, as a teacher, and I taught a lot at the alternative level. After I left my medical career and I retired from my medicine, I went and I worked for the what they call at-risk kids. And I remember very well that some of the kids were on the verge of committing suicide, for instance, because they didn't have any kind of support. They were so scared. And this level of uncertainty added to their tension and anxiety. So what can we tell to parents?
Well, I think that, and we certainly come across this a lot. I have a number of students who are afraid of talking to their parents and who and parents I think who are afraid of maybe even hearing some of these things. But I guess the most important thing is just to be honest, and that it's okay to be afraid, and it's okay to say, this is not what I thought, this is not how I expected our lives to go, but it is how our lives are, and it is how our lives are going, and so we'll get through this together. And there are just so many resources, and there are places for support and information, and just to always remember the one thing that brings you together as parent and child, or brother and sister, or whatever friend, that you love each other and that you're good people, and to remember to focus on that. And it's not the end of the world, and as long as everybody is honest and communicates, even when sometimes what you have to say is not the easiest thing to hear or the easiest thing to say, I think it's important to say it, and that kids understand that their parents are afraid, because this is something they weren't expecting, and parents need to know that the kids are afraid, and that if everybody can sort of voice their true feelings and voice their concerns, I think they can make a lot of progress.
Okay. That's great to hear. If I move a little bit, maybe we'll have a chance to come back to you again, to this group. But I would like to move to Jen now. And you have, with Kerri, you selected a title for your show, a headline that is, yes, you did. We just loaded you with a lot of things in our preparation. That this is a community activist, or kids who are doing something for the community. And you are responsible for or part of the dance marathon that raises a lot of money for people who need, especially sick people. And this is another noble cause, because you both represent novelty of the education message. And that's why I would like you to talk about this and then give the microphone to your team, represented by the wonderful Lauren, to give us more elaborate explanation of what the ugly.
Absolutely. So when we talked earlier, we came up with the name West High Reaching Out. Our two groups being on together is absolutely fabulous because it's exactly what we're doing, is we're reaching out. You know, our mission started with Mr. Paul Breitbach. He's a counselor at school. And it started coming this year together and coming up with this idea that we called the Elite Nine. And we got the 9 from Caroline Found, who passed away a few years ago in a tragic moped accident. And how our community rallied around her death was absolutely amazing. And the reality is that sometimes that happens and then we let it go and we forget why are we really here? We're really here to be together and to reach out. And you know, West High, we do a great job of educating. Our kids are absolutely amazing. But I think when we can pull together and stand up side by side and reach out and grab each other's hand and let everybody know, you know, we're here together. You're going through the fight, but I'm here to help you. And so this year we came up with the idea. Lauren Larson and Michaela Raker were both very involved in Dance Marathon, and we set out a challenge to our kids to let's come together, let's keep Caroline Found's spirit, energy alive, and let's do something amazing at West High. And that's exactly what happened. The girls were very open to the idea of starting an annual dance marathon, a mini dance marathon at West High. And you know, we had hurdles to jump through. West High does not have dances on campus, so we jumped that hurdle. And I think we have great support now because of what they did. We ended up coming together, and we didn't want it to be just a mini dance marathon like we have in the elementaries. We wanted it to model the University of Iowa. We wanted to bring families in who have kids who are experiencing cancer. And we did just that. We brought some amazing families in, some who have lost their children to cancer, some who are going through the battle right now, and some who are in remission. And we brought those families in to talk to our students. We ended up recruiting about 300 dancers. We had phenomenal turnout from the University of Iowa. About 60 to 70 of their dancers came and danced with us. But the amazing thing about this was that the University of Iowa, started this, but we actually did the work on our own. And in all honesty, the girls did the work on their own. We were their backbone to help pick them up, but they were the ones that did the work. And they brought this together. It was absolutely an amazing event. And the coolest thing was that we came together and we worked together for a cause so much bigger than any of us. And I'll tell you what, if I'm ever on the opposite side of the table, I'm going to be so happy that I first started on this side because I know there's support out there. So if you are dealing or battling in our community with a childhood cancer, know that your community stands up with you. We support you, and we're doing some great work to try to make even our elementary school kids know and bring that right up through the high school so that we can move it on to the university and take that $1.5 million that they raised this year at the university and continue to make that go up exponentially.
Right. So the floor is yours, Lauren. Take the microphone now and tell us.
Well, this year we started our first mini dance marathon at West High, and we raised over $22,000. And like Ms. Secrist said, we had a lot of people who participated and had so many families that came and supported us. And it modeled the University of Iowa Dance Marathon so much that it was a lot of fun, and it got a lot more students from West High involved in the University of Iowa Dance Marathon, which was a lot of fun. We didn't think we would raise that much money, but we started off with a goal of $10,000, and we surpassed that. And then we were like, let's try for 15. And we ended up getting past that, and we were like, okay, 20,000, like, we can do it, like, let's do it. And so we had 6 teachers who said they would shave their heads if we got past $20,000. So that was a real big push for West. And we ended up raising over $22,000. So it was just a great cause.
Did they really shave their heads?
Yeah, we really shaved their heads.
This is 2 months regrowth.
You did shave their heads.
Yeah, we shaved their head. But it just, all went to a great cause, and it got so many more people involved at West High with Dance Marathon, and it just really showed them like what it was all about and how you could really help out people in your community.
Nobody of your teachers had shaved his beard? No?
No.
Next time I have to be part of it.
Okay.
We have you on the books for next year.
Yeah, don't forget that. That's really remarkable. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun, and it brought a lot of people together at West High, and it was just everyone fighting for the same cause.
So you're looking forward now to next year to get more.
Yep.
Okay. Now, back to you, Daniel. Now, if you meet a child, or let us say a person who is about 15, 16 years old and doesn't know what to do, where to go, and he just came to your school as a freshman, 16 years, right? Or 14 as a freshman, and what would you tell him?
Well, I would be like, go to Mrs. Barnhouse's room on Wednesday afternoons, because that's
Always. That's where the buck stops.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if they were going to my school, and West High has a similar group. I believe it's called Glow, and I don't know.
City does, yeah.
Yeah, City does.
So what's somebody told me about the colors. What colors? Is it another organization or part of the organization?
Well, Colors is West High's GSA.
Okay.
It's like City's group. West High's club, we're just like a network of support and friends. And not only are we that, we also hold events throughout school, like the school year. One of our events is called the Day of Silence, where everyone, ally or gay or whatever, they're silent. And that shows how a lot of gays in the world don't have a voice, and they kind of are voiceless and hiding. And that's a very powerful event because it shows it's an expression of the support that's present in the school. And it's really, really a good group, and Cities is good.
Well, when Dr. Argan Bright, who is a good friend of mine, select a group, he knows exactly why he wants to shed the light on this group. You know, so this by itself is a recognition from your leadership about you and your role. I insisted this year to invite him personally, and I said, I'm gonna get you to this show, and he's like, no, I'm going to get something better than me. So that I know the guy is down to earth, but really he gave us a chance to see leaders of the futures, because you guys are very important. You are our treasure in the education system. You know, you would be followed by Pam Ely, who is the head of the instructions and the curriculum in this district. But I think, to be honest with you, your role is more important than just getting good test scores. I don't know if Pam Ely was going to fire me after that. But it's good that she's not with us in the studio. She's waiting for her turn. So I want to conclude by you, because you want to encourage others to join you and say, you don't have to be gay, but you still can fight the good fight.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how you identify or how you see yourself. What matters...
Yeah, talk to them.
What
and
matters...
Look, this is your camera too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What matters is that we come together as a community to further the cause of just being together and embracing each other and really being a community. And whether that's through Mini Dance Marathon or through Colors, what is important is just coming together and sharing a common goal.
It was a delight meeting you. Really, I'm very pleased, and I think you have done a good job, and the message is clear. People can watch this on YouTube tomorrow. You can always watch public access TV. It's a good station, very serious station, and they are donating their studios, their facilities, their camera, the senior director to help us. So their heart is with us. And for this, I would like to recognize the role, and on behalf of Joan Kerr and Mike Peterson, I would like to thank you very much for that. And I'm sure a lot of our audience are impressed by your character and your personality and your ability and stamina. In the meantime, I would like to say that this show will be aired on Channel 18, and that's public access TV on Saturday at 2:30, and on Monday at 7 o'clock during dinner time, so you can turn the TV on Channel 18 if you have cable. If you don't have cable, you go to public access TV, the website, please, and you will find the show there. So you have many outlets to see the work that you have done, and we expect you to be very successful. And on behalf of everybody, I repeat my gratitude and the gratitude of our audience. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.